changed so much. One of the first things you probably noticed is the clubs. So we have 5 clubs now that are going to be representing, and don't forget for you guys at home to pick your favorite. But I mean, first off, we got the Fortnites. So we're starting the games off with the EU scene. So it's fun. You know, we've got the clubs have 100 players each, 50 from NA, 50 from EU, and each of those teams are basically participating. At the end of the 6 weeks, the club with the most points is going to walk with an additional prize. I mean, do you have a favorite club right now? Yeah, I'm taking a look at all of these. I'm seeing some powerhouse players, a lot of folks that we saw back at PAX West coming over across the pond and all the way across the U.S. to compete at PAX West Summer Skirmish. They're competing again today. You see Dusty Dogs on screen, Rift Riders. There's a couple clubs I'm rooting for. I'm waiting to see how the action breaks down, though. We'll see what ends up happening. For sure. I mean, what's cool about these clubs is there are also spots for people to make submissions. So yesterday, someone tweeted at me that they actually got a tattoo of the Fortnites. I mean, what do you think about that? Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. If you are a fan of Fortnite, if you are a player of Fortnite, I think there was an announcement that there was over 50 million Fortnite players in August alone. You have a chance to compete alongside the likes of all these pro players, all these content creators. It is an awesome opportunity. So make sure to enter your submission at home, and hopefully you'll have a chance to be competing in future fall skirmish events. Yeah, man. You know, so I think you talked to me a little bit about a submission or something, or were you telling me about that? You know, so with that said, I appreciate the setup, my friend. Epic Games, Arctic Lumen, and friends, this is my official submission for Lucky Llamas. My name is Fallout. It is an honor to be here casting, but hopefully in the future I will have a chance to compete in the fall skirmish as a member, a proud member of the Lucky Llamas, alongside some good friends. Consider this my official submission. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think of that? Let us know with the hashtag, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, let's talk about the format, my friend. Hold the Throne. So every week we're going to change the format up. And with this week, week 1, we're going with Hold the Throne. So victory owls are worth 3 points. Second in place are worth 2 points. And fourth and fifth, are worth 1 point. Talk to me about the eliminations. Yes, of course you can play for placement, or you can play for high eliminations, which is really awesome. There's a variety of opportunities of play style. 8+ eliminations will net you 3 points. 6 to 7 eliminations, 2 points. 4 to 5, 1 point. But keep in mind, if you drop 20, you're still getting that 3-point mount unless you hit the Hold the Throne. That's right. Players are looking to hold that throne, so whoever has the most eliminations will get a floating 2 points. Those points can be stolen. So basically, if you start the game, let's say you drop a 20 bomb, that means you get 2 free points that are yours. They act as your points until someone else steals them, or until the end of the whole thing. I mean, there's a lot of prize money on the line here for week 1. I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Life-changing amounts of prize money. I mean, just look at this. 1st through 10th place here, just in week number 1, $67,500 for first. And of course, the addition of club points, which is such a crucial addition to this format in fall skirmish. You, of course, are representing a club. At the end of it all, $4 million will be given away to the winning clubs in total prize pool for just club participation, as well as the prize pool for competition. It's been amazing to see. Yeah, so not only are players competing for the total prize pool to be showing up as being first, on top of that, you're trying to get points for your clubs. So now for you guys at home, what do you think of that? I mean, we got these new clubs, so let us know with the hashtag Fall Skirmish. Also, don't forget to rep your favorite club. We got hashtags for all of them. Let us know how you're enjoying all the action. Tweet at me, tweet at Fallout. Let us know how you love this guy. I mean, this guy is seriously, I cannot talk highly enough about you. I think at PAX it was kind of the same thing. We just hung out, and I was like, I love this guy. We were gassing each other up, man. It was like you hype me up, I hype you up back. It's a good partnership, a true partnership. Yeah, man. But the other thing I want to take time to talk about is the changes that we've seen since the likes of PAX. So let's just go through this really quickly. So at PAX, we had disabled Shockwave Grenade. Yep. Now it's back in the game. On top of that, we have the Grappler added to the game. We also have the Porta Fortress, which just came out this week. We've also had the Silenced AR added to the game. These are huge additions. On top of that, we saw the Cube, a.k.a. Kevin, sink himself into Loot Lake. Now Loot Lake is all bouncy, and we've also vaulted the drum gun. So, I mean, it's going to be very different. It's going to be very different coming out of Summer Skirmish into now the Fall Skirmish. How do you think these changes are going to affect the game? Yeah, I mean, the addition of the bouncy Loot Lake, the Shockwave Grenade, the Grappler, really the metagame has evolved, and this is so beautiful about Fortnite. And the most recent evolution is mobility, which I think adds an element of skill, an element of surprise, and just a much different layer of competitiveness to competitive Fortnite. And I am so excited to see that in action for the first time here in opening week of Fall Skirmish. That's right. And something else to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first kind of look. We're using our online live spectator client, so we'll be checking this out. So something to keep an eye out for. On top of that, we also have a similar setup to PAX. We have like the overlay here, so you can actually see where players are dropping. You know, we'll quickly identify what hotspots will be. And I mean, as you can see, there's a player there repping that new skin, Valkyrie. I mean, Stone Cold Killer. This skin is amazing. This is my favorite skin, along with Frostwing. Oh my gosh!
Absolutely beautiful. The animation, the effects, bar none, one of my favorite skins in the game. And I'm glad a lot of these players are repping it. Just dropped yesterday, so we'll see it, I'm sure, in display quite a bit today. Meanwhile, over in Lucky Landing, on the other side of the map here, looks like we have two different squads. Severin, who we had a chance to actually cast at PAX West. He was the Omega that played incredibly well at PAX West. Unfortunately, did not qualify for Monday, but a very, very strong European player, a good representative of the community. I'm excited to see what Severin and TS Chicken can do.
That's right. Something to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, when you're watching is if they have the same number, they're on the same team. So, example, Celery Airwalks is on Team 4 here. Goes down, though, right at the start to Thevs. He's on Team 39. So if you see two players with the same number, they basically are on the same team. That's something to keep an eye out for. And just a really quick reiteration of the format there. So, you know, what do you think? Do you think players will play more for the Victory Royales? Do you think we're going to see players just kind of go full send and try to get eliminations? What do you think?
You know, honestly, both. And I hate to take the cop-out answer, but it's the reality. That's what's beautiful about Fortnite and competitive Fortnite. It really adheres to multiple play styles. If you like to play a little bit more passive, play for mid-game, play for late game, play for uncontested drops, you can. And there's a lot of variety of locations and POIs you could drop at that are viable. Meanwhile, if you're Ghost Aiden, if you're Nick Merckx and you like to get in the action, you could drop Tilted Towers and you could bang out with the best of them. So really awesome to see the variety of play styles. Meanwhile, over at Lucky Landing, looks like we still haven't seen this 2v2 fight conclude. So there's still going to be some action breaking down over here. We've seen some good action already as Solary already taken out, a squad that we had our eyes on coming into this this match.
That's right. We've seen the kill feed there. DK takes down Apostle. I mean, Apostle, the dapper gentleman himself. He likes to wear bow ties. I respect it. But taking a look here, we can also see this player here in Dusty Divot. So something to keep in mind as well with the live replay client is that you can actually see other players on the minimap in the top right. So definitely keep your eyes heading up there. See if there's other players around. But we'll keep you up to date with all the action. But look at this, man. Marin trying to track down these two players. We can see them through the wall again with that that replay client. I love it. Being able to see the outline, see kind of how players are moving, what weapons they've got out, things like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, completely agreed. I mean, look at this scenario. We have two teams just on opposite walls. Meanwhile, on the top right of your screen, you'll see another team up at the Dusty Diner that was just added, hanging out up there. So we have three separate teams in this area, and still no eliminations picked up yet. It goes to show the amount of respect that these players have for one another. Of course, in a high-stakes private server format, we see the best, and I mean the absolute best Fortnite gameplay, and it's really been a treat to watch so far in Summer Skirmish and kicking off Fall Skirmish as well. Man, look at this. This is just a fight waiting to break out Fallout. We've got, like you talked about, the teams up there at the old containers. We've got a team here. We've got two teams within. I mean, there's people all around there, and we now know where this new circle is. So a lot of players will probably start making their way into safe zones a minute before the storm starts to move. I mean, look at this. So what's interesting, Jetpacks only has 2 weapons, both of them ARs, and both of them actually share the same ammo type. Yep. So, I mean, as he's burning ammo, he's, I mean, you know, using up some of the other one, but he immediately takes on a player there. That's free loot on the table, but yeah, Jetpacks he's also made a lot of noise. Exactly, he does. Jetpacks responds to you and says, hey, Zeke, all I need is an AR with 24 bullets, and I'm going to pick up some eliminations. He gets one right there. Should be able to pick up some weapons and some ammo as well, and it looks like his teammate's actually going to swoop that up. So, surprising, Jetpack's still just repping that double AR, as you mentioned. That's might cost him here. If he gets into a big team fight, he's not going to have a lot to work with. Now heading down to the south half of the map, you can see up there in the top left, we've got players nearing each other right now in Clyde and Marijuana against Mexi and not Mikey. So we'll have to see how this plays out. And immediately you see the grenade launcher. And look, they already have a Porta Fortress in hand. Fallout. How do you think they're going to use this? Oh my, defensively is one thing I would say. The Porta Fortress gives, ooh, look at the double rift, he's going to be hit. But Porta Fortress gives you an opportunity to play a lot more defensively, to really, if you're under duress, you can bail out of that situation really, really well. I expect them to hold on to that for a rainy day. Of course, they're not going to use it right there in that offensive opportunity. Yeah, let's check out this replay coming in from Solary. He's still alive, actually. One of them is still alive. That's right. We saw one of them go down. He takes down 2 players. Knocks them down. He's going to get the elimination here. Interestingly enough, the Solary members are not playing together. So I take that back. I assume both the Solary players would be playing together. We saw a member of Solary die earlier in the game, get eliminated, and now it looks like Solary, Yoshi, and Jules in a good spot. So keep in mind that there is a duo and that Yoshi's playing someone else, but there's also, don't forget, the club. So they can only play with club members. Yep. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. In terms of duos and pairings all day long, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this format on top of the clubs is gonna change things very dramatically. We're gonna see things kind of unfold differently. And I think another cool thing to talk about is, Summer Skirmish was more about, honing in on fun, or rather the format and whatnot, and now we get to have a little more fun. We get to bring those formats back that people really liked, and then we get to do some new stuff with the clubs. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to change these 6 weeks. But boy, oh boy, a lot of action heating up. Look at this. We've got a grappler in play. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I love the grappler. It is one of my favorite weapons, a great mobility tool, and it's just fun. You just fire it and you just go zipping around. You can do stuff like if you jump off a ledge, you can actually grapple the ground and zip yourself down and not take fall damage. There's so many cool little things you can do with it.
And we're just scratching the surface of what we're going to see out of that item. I'm really excited for that. And really, I think everyone loves the grappler unless it's being used against you. Because it's such a powerful item. A missed sniper shot right there, I believe. Not sure if he picked up the tag just right there. But
very close,
very close.
Fun fact, Harmy actually played at PAX.
No way.
Saw him, yeah.
A couple Europeans making the trip. That's a long trip over to Seattle. So a lot of respect for our European competitors making the trek to Seattle to compete for, of course, the massive prize pool. $1.5 million prize pool is at PAX West. Another $10 million prize pool here for Fall Skirmish over 6 weeks. That, of course, will conclude at TwitchCon. Exciting things to come.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. But look, Fallout, the Storm is making its way in. Now, players are going to start to get funneled a little bit, right? Now they're going to start making their way into the safe zone. What do you think is the play here, right? So, like, if you're one of these players on the outside of the map, do you just go in and you just, make a spot for yourself? You just kind of wait? What do you think?
Yeah, that was a key conversation. I know in talking to a lot of pro players at PAX West is the learning that you have to rotate early. I think that it's easier said than done. Everyone knows that they have to do it by textbook, but it's harder to do and actually in reality of the situation. But a lot of those players that are on the outskirts, that's typically where most people will lie. So by sitting on those outskirts, you put yourself at risk of running parallel to others and putting yourself in a pretty dangerous spot. I think the right play is to rotate early to center circle to not get caught in the mix here. And those players that are on the outskirts, we'll see if they can make it out alive.
And take a look at this Fallout. 80 players still left. I mean, there's still so many people left alive. So if this continues, I mean, we see a knock there in the kill feed there. But, man, if this continues, we're going to see some of these tighter circles just nonstop action.
Yep, that's for sure. Right in the face of Vitality, Mika. A couple shots can be picked up. He's going to lose his shield here. So a little bit damaged. No shield for Mika in this one. He's just going to actually break down the cover. Play a little more passive. Big fight going down over towards the containers. Gabby going to get downed. Looks like a Shockwave is going to get used. So we talked about the addition and the ability to escape. Shockwave and Grappler combo. Amarkot goes for the flashy play. Going to get taken out. The Vitality duo going to pick up 2. Well played from them.
That was almost one of the craziest plays. So as you saw, he was mid-air, grapples over the enemy's head, almost zips across, but the enemy was waiting for it and picks off Amar. Man, oh man. Now here's the thing. They got to go find that grappler. I mean, if you saw this guy's got a grappler, you got to go get it. You got to use it yourself. That's how it works.
That's 100% how it works. You have the passing of the torch, if you will. The passing of the grappler.
It's right there. Micah, look, turn around. Micah, no, don't leave it.
Does he not want it? Maybe he doesn't want it.
You know what? He's probably just like, look, I don't need this. This would make me too strong, okay? All right? I can take down players. Believe in me, Zeke. You're right, Micah. I believe in you.
Yeah, well done right there from Vitality. Of course, Vitality, French esports organization, one of the premier esports organizations over in Europe. And they're showing why right now with some two strong players on their side, on the Fortnite side at least. Meanwhile, Yoshi and Jules. Looks like they're in a 2v2 standoff situation. Meanwhile, a lot of fights taken on the Epsilon squad. Speaking of premier organizations in Europe, they're entering the scene as well towards Fatal Fields.
Look at this. This is a replay. So this was the replay from the fight we just saw for Micah. So look, Amar's mid-air. He zips over and immediately, look at that. Oh my gosh. Those are hard shots to make, man. Hard shots indeed.
It keeps the AR out rather than taking out the shotgun.
Yeah.
That's a bold play. Means he has trust and faith in his accuracy. Well shot from Mika in that one. Meanwhile, Skosis of AGO here. Just getting as many mats as they can. That's another big thing in these private server matches. You think it's easy to get mats. Easier said than done. Yeah. It always becomes an issue in late game is material and resource containment.
Yeah, I mean, especially as people start to tunnel, they start to fortify as much as they can. We'll have to see. Yeah, speaking of which, literally what we're saying, but like you talked about, it's a great point, is the Shockwave grenade, man. That thing is going to change the way, and I hope we see a lot of it this time around in these coming weeks, because it's a game changer.
Yeah, well said. Meanwhile, on board with Martin here. I believe this is a replay situation over towards Dusty. Actually, no, I think this is a live fight as Mika and Roby are going to be in a pretty bad spot here. No high ground for them, and they're really in this fishbowl that is Dusty Divot. A couple good, well-placed walls right there from Method Martin. He's going to put some shots over on the Vitality squad who's just trying to retreat. They recognize they're not in the best situation. They want to get out of it.
And again, take a look. The spectator client, man, it's super helpful. You're looking up at the top right, you can see all the duo teams very close by. I mean, everyone else, if you watch these little triangles, they're honing in on these shots. They hear these shots, and they're saying, look, we need to get in there. We need a third party or a look to clean up these fights because we need eliminations. We need these eliminations on the board. Yeah, 4 to 5 is 1 point, right? And 1 point could be enough to put you in the top 10. So
exactly. Not only that, but this Vitality squad is, speaking of points, they're so close. You see the format on the radio screen, so close to picking up a few points here by eliminations. They've picked up a couple already, so let's see what they can do here. Big fight ensuing. 3 or 4 teams in this one. It's going to be Martin versus Mika in a 1 versus 1. Sorry, that's Roby. He downs 1. That's an elimination. That's crucial if they can pick up the finalization here. Meanwhile, it is going to be Jetpacks that downs Roby and neutralizes. Now, 1 versus 1 situation. Jetpacks versus Mika, I believe. A couple good shots are going to be put in. Ultimately, it is Mika that comes out on top. 3 eliminations for Mika, a few for Roby, and that should net them some points.
Unbelievably well played there. Mika by himself now. I mean, you'll love to see it. If he can get 1 more, or rather 2 more eliminations, he's going to have a point on the board. You know, we talked about it, man, and we kind of talked about it a little bit at PAX as well. These elimination thresholds, they're tough. This is not easy, right? Everyone needs to show up and do the best that they can. And we're basically, it's a lot to ask for. I'll give you that, but it's worth it, right? A lot of these players are going to show up like Mika. I mean, we just saw him he's got 3 eliminations now. So if he has 1 more, that's 1 point. And even at PAX, we saw a lot of times where people would get so close. They get 1 elimination away from their first, second, third thresholds, and then they go down. And
you can see the look in their face afterwards. You have the beautiful webcams as well. And one addition to this format that I absolutely love is the Hold the Throne edition. Yeah. We saw Aiden drop, I believe, 18 eliminations in his nightly qualifier. I mean, playing out of his mind. But because there was no Hold the Throne in that feature, that format, he was, I think, ended up, 10th through 15th place in the final standings. So the addition of Hold the Throne gives you an opportunity to really rack up some extra points and rewards the eliminations even further, which I think is awesome for the overall balance of the game.
Absolutely, couldn't agree with you more.
And it means more eliminations that we get to see, so I'm not complaining.
That's true.
Take a look at the action from Mika's perspective here. We saw it from Jetpack's perspective, and look at that nice headshot. And the AR, sorry, make that a SMG, compact SMG finish there from Mika. Yeah.
Man, he's 1 elimination away from that first threshold, getting himself a point. And man, these points they're sparse. You know, you get 3 points for victory royales, 2 points for second or third, and 1 point for fourth or fifth. And that's the thing, man. If you make it, let's say you make it a top 6 and you don't have any eliminations, that's great. You made it to top 6, but you don't have points. So it's I like that this format allows players to kind of play to their strengths, right? You can either play, look, I go full send, I get eliminations. That's great. You're going to get points. Or I like to make my way to final 6. I like to play very slow, very methodically, and I'm going to make decisions that matter. That's awesome. You're also going to get yourself points. So it's a really cool format. I've enjoyed this. And again, you mentioned earlier the Hold the Throne. Whoever has the most eliminations at the end of the game holds the throne. So that's just 2 points. They're up for grabs. I mean, during the summer skirmish, actually, during the Hold the Throne week, we saw people stealing the points left and right. So we'll have to see how that happens now. But Fnatic, Etnix, and Jarl go down.
Oh, wow. So both members of Fnatic out of the count here. Meanwhile, on board with Madsen. And look at the amount of 1x1s built up here. It is training day right now for these individuals. They're just posting up and trying to get some long-range shots off.
Look, I just want to point this out. There's 64 players left alive. Fallout. There's 64 players left in this game right now. Look at this. Look at how, first of all, look how evenly everyone's spread out, right? They're at basically long range, or just about. And they're waiting. No one's taking shots, right? No one's building. Everyone's just waiting. They're waiting for that moment when the storm comes in, forces players together. They're looking to clean up a few eliminations as they can, and then once we get the new storm circle, they're going to have to move.
Exactly. You know what that means, though, is my favorite part as a caster and as a viewer, madness is about to ensue. 64 people, and look at how many players in one area right now. You already know fights are about to ensue. It's about to go down. Of course, the addition of shockwaves, porta fortresses are really going to help promote the fights in the end game. I'm really excited to see how the action breaks down.
Look at how many players are. I mean, look, Lei is right next to Ukes. They're like 1 grid space away from each other. We've got players all over the place, and it's still at 64. Nothing has happened. But like you talked about, the madness is about to happen. We get a new circle. All right, so now this is where players start. They make the decision. Do I move now? Is it too soon? Do we just need to go secure a spot? You know, what do you think these players are thinking right now?
Yeah, in this scenario, again, early rotation, the early bird gets the worm. I think it ever be more true when it comes to rotation. So what that means for those at home, a rotation means how fast you rotate and move to the center of the circle, the next storm or the next circle. And it looks like a couple players are going to do exactly that. Meanwhile, big fight going down here. Finally, the madness ensues. And it looks like Harmy and Co. go down. Lou gets taken out as well. One Splode took out 3 members. I'm not sure if that was 3 limbs for 1. We'll, of course, get the updated scoreboard for you guys as soon as we can and towards the end of the game. But from 64 to 59 in the blink of an eye here, and look how small this last circle is. It's going to go down here in just a moment. And of course, we are an anti-gravity end game here. I absolutely love it, just like we saw at PAX West, which is so entertaining. It's going to be an interesting end game, that's for sure.
That's right. So we kind of saw some of this play out during PAX, but these grav zones, if you don't know, they're basically these anti-gravity zones, right? You can hop around and it's almost like you're on the moon, right? So if you jump off a large structure, you're just going to float down very gently, but you're also, while jumping normally, you're going to be moving very slowly in an arc. So it actually makes it very easy for players. If they have like a hunting rifle, they can actually really easily take you out of the air, just because of how slow and you're floating. So people have to keep that in mind when they're in this zone.
Yeah, there's an opportunity to use that anti-gravity, much like a bounce pad, to build yourself high and get high ground, but it's high risk, high reward, because you do make yourself a little bit vulnerable if you can't build very efficiently. Meanwhile, rotation's coming through. It looks like Jules is going to get a down on Svenos. So Svenos, a big name on the European seed. He goes down, not out just yet, but on board with Ali Gamers for now, who seems to be in a pretty safe spot here.
There's still so many players left follow. We've only gone from 64 to 56. We saw 1 player go down. And look, the silenced AR, we talked about it. We're seeing it now. Ollie has it, but look at all these players. Just watch their health bars. Noisy up top goes down there. There's shots left and right. We just heard the sound of remote explosives. I mean, this is going to get really claustrophobic very quickly. Yeah, indeed. Ali Gamer's in a pretty good spot here just to stay alive and value his life. Meanwhile, looks like a member of Ghost Gaming representing here today, Train H Sops. Looks like he's going to get tagged up pretty hurt right now, trying to just stay alive and use that last mini shield in that campfire to get back to at least more of a desirable HP position. Man, there's so many people fall out. It's only down to 52 still. This is crazy. There's so many people packed in this tiny spot. And now look, where the new safe zone is down on the lower half of the map now. So some players are already there. They're good to go. But that means for everyone else, they have to start making these rotations.
Yeah, one thing that's really interesting, maybe it's a European versus North American thing, but you don't really see many layers of elevation and verticality. You see that very often in the North American side, where players will build high, and you'll see kind of a high ground, a mid ground, and a low ground, 3 separate fights that exist. Meanwhile, everyone, for the most part, low to mid ground here, which means we're going to see a crazy battle on this rotation. Looks like it is Carnifex who's just sneaking his way over to that hill, or that next circle, in a pretty good spot right now, but expect madness to ensue here. I want to see some players build for high ground and try to create a second layer a little bit higher up to give themselves a vertical advantage.
Man, Paul, this is getting intense. This is just 50 players. We've got 38 seconds left before this storm starts to move. And now everyone is literally going to be funneled in through the same spot, that northeast corner of the circle there. I mean, look, there's already a flood of people there. And don't forget, this is duos. So it's not just like 1 or 2 players. This is literally duo squads moving in troves. So we're going to see this action heat up very quickly. We're going to see the lobby probably go from like 46, I'd assume, down to 20, maybe even less.
And look at you're right. Look at the mini map. I mean, it's all those triangles in one tiny area. It is awesome. You love to see this late game, how intense it is. One slight misstep could cost you your life in an instant. It's all about the flick of the wrist and the quick shotgun shots around the corner. We'll see who comes out on top with those. Meanwhile, looks like the rotation is going to come through. 35 seconds left until the storm will collapse in its new environment. Finally, people are building up towards high ground like madmen. But keep in mind, resource management in a very good spot here is this Black Knight with resources, almost 1,000. What he's going to pick up an elimination, that's Dementos, the man himself.
He takes down someone there. We're down to 45. Only 1 player's gone down in the time we talked. Now Ollie here is drawing a bead, but can he make these eliminations? Keep in mind, everyone, they're fighting for eliminations. 4 eliminations gets them a point on the board. They need these points, or they need to make top 5 if they hope to score points coming out of this first game, rather.
Yeah. And Ollie's a prime example. 0 eliminations right now, so Ollie playing purely for placement. Ollie can pick up some key eliminations right now. But I like what I'm seeing out of the secret squad. Dementos, of course, the young man who we saw perform in Summer Skirmish and in past events. Holding high ground. He's going to lose that high ground with the bounce pad here. Just going to build himself a nice box and a nice square to survive here. But Solari Hunter picking up some nice kills. Eliminations.
Looks like his teammate has gone down there. He's about to fall. He has no health. There he goes. So now Dementos is by himself. But look at all these players everywhere. I mean, we see players going down left and right, someone down there, down below, 2 players down there. I mean, this is getting absurd. Now, Skype goes down. I mean, you literally just hear nonstop bullets. That's what you're hearing. Gunfire literally everywhere as people are, I mean, keep in mind, they're 1 or 2 grid space away. This player goes down as well. I mean, look, oh, there was a rift there. Someone used a rift. But Hex couldn't get there in time, so they're going to be allowed to reposition while in midair. Oh, we've got a grappler out as well. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about a grappler in these situations.
Game. Unbelievable. It is absolute warfare, absolute madness. You called it perfectly. I liked what I saw. I believe it was actually this squad here that held high ground, was able to get a nice headshot elim immediately on whoever that was peeking for just a moment. So if you team fire, and one thing they're talking about often is team firing in duos can be very efficient. Looks like the jump head's going to be missed there.
Oh, no!
Oh, finally hits it. He should be okay.
Oh, no. Lothar goes down. He's lost in the storm. Windwalker took the L. Now we're down to 26 players. This lobby is very quickly getting thinned out. Oh my gosh, even look at the different elevations. I mean, oh, look, the grappler. We talked about it in these situations. Come on, make the shot. Look at this. You're just very quickly able to navigate these fights. And look, he lands on a med kit. What? Okay,
Merry Christmas,
grapplers. My, oh my. This is changing this end game as we know it.
Absolutely love it. I'm looking to see who has a Shockwave or a Porta Fortress, because that would be massive in this late game scenario. You could easily, especially with the bounce pads of the Porta Fortress, you could easily get someone outside of the storm and make some plays there. Impulse grenades, of course, playing a big impact as well. No eliminations picked up as of yet. Finally, it's going to be 7, SSK 7 picking up 1. Hunter grabs another here in the Solari squad. Is heating up.
Oh my gosh. You know what I didn't even think about as well? Is with the addition, so if you're new to Fortnite, what we call it owning the wall. It means that you've placed this piece of structure down and you have rights to edit it. So as you look, we looked at this wall and it means it's red. That's not his wall. He can't edit it. Now with the Porta Fortress Edition, if you drop that when everyone's built around you, you own all those walls. You literally just consume everyone's structures around you, and then you have rights to edit everything. I need to see a Porta Fortress.
That is a beautiful point, especially in this late game. So talk about ownership and possession. You can get possession of this entire circle with the Porta Fortress. It is that massive of a structure of a unit. Not only that, but you knock everyone potentially completely out of the circle into the storm and in a very dangerous spot. If anyone held on to that Porta Fortress, we saw it way earlier. I'm not sure which team that was and if they still have it in their possession, but that would be a game changer. Look at that high ground. Number 32 there. And look at this grenade launcher being used. So some GLs are going to come through here. Not going to connect for exploded elim just yet, but nicely placed right there from Hunter.
Oh, that's a grenade. Oh my gosh, a grenade just came in there. Solary Kinstar goes down. Jam side got him. SSK has eliminated Kinzel there. Windstrike Meow eliminates Hex. 10 players left. I mean, look at this player. They have 6 eliminations, Fallout. If they get 2 more, that's 3 points. Hunter is on fire right now, just capitalizing every moment when he can. Yes. Again, we're down to 10 players.
And the Solary squad, we talked about them a little bit in the pregame, performing so far. 6 elims, down to top 5 in players as well. Keep in mind, look at the right of your screen here. 2nd and 3rd place will get you 2 points. You want to survive for that 2nd place finish or 3rd place finish.
Down to, look at this. Things are just happening left and right. Down to 7. Again, back over to Hunter. He has 6 eliminations. That in itself is huge. That's 2 points can hit the board. If he even just waits till 1 more elimination, that's going to be 1 point coming out for making just a top 5. I mean, oh, do you see the shockwave grenade?
Oh my goodness. Is it on the ground? Yeah,
it's right there.
Okay. Is he going to be able to grab it, though? He's going. He knows he needs it.
Yes.
He's going to grab it. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. No, he's not going to get it off. Can you believe it? And then he gets the elim with the trap right after.
Oh, but he's, okay, so he did find elimination. There's 4 players left in the game. The circle is closing and everyone's falling down.
Sorry, Rip to go here.
Oh, someone goes down. Okay, so this is it. We've got 4 players left. 1 is down. I believe we're going to go to a heal off. It's happening. Oh no, G-Master doing everything he can. There's a player there. Wait.
Wow.
Wait, he didn't realize it. He literally landed on top of G-Master. He did not realize it.
That was his teammate.
No, it wasn't. It was someone else.
Oh,
it was a different number.
He got the elim on.
He landed and took down the player on the right. So that means Bowman taking it to a heal off.
Wow.
With 3 eliminations.